2021. The time is 5:31 p.m. And let me see, do we have a elementary student in the group with us today? How about a...
Yeah, right there.
There she is, right there. Would you please come up, Miss, and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Tell us your name. Tell us your name.
Beautiful girl.
Michaela.
Michaela.
Michaela, welcome to our meeting. If you will,
Would you like to come closer, Michaela?
come right close to there. There you go. Hey, the flag is here.
One more. There you go.
Hand over your heart and lead us, please.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Michaela. And now we will say the pledge to the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
How about a quick hand for it? Thank you very much, Michaela. Okay. That's pretty brave. I don't know if I would have gotten that. But, okay.
Don't believe that for one moment. I was just gonna, I don't buy into that either.
I'm a pretty bashful guy. All right, Sonia, who's next agenda item?
Yes, sir. Roll call. Mr. Coronado.
Here.
Mr. Hernandez.
Here.
Mrs. Mendoza.
Here.
Mr. Bayan.
Here.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Present.
Mrs. Searles.
Here.
And Mrs. Trapp.
Present.
All right, that takes us to the CISD vision and mission statements. Agenda item B. Ms. Searles and Mr. Hernandez, would you care to read those words?
Sure.
I'm for the vision. Bonneville ISD is a premier district preparing tomorrow's best today with innovative, future-focused learning opportunities for every student.
Our mission is to create a rigorous, student-centered classroom which develop future-ready students to compete in a global economy and thrive in a multicultural world. I sure hope we're doing that.
Yeah, and thank you both, Ms. Searles and Mr. Hernandez, and I'm hoping that in the future we might, kind of revisit that. Seems that we're going to really want to focus on doing credentials in terms of our goals and stuff, that maybe we can just fine tune it a little bit this September. Good. We'll have the workshop. Remember we talked about our workshop, so I'm hoping that we can visit that and maybe put on the agenda item for all our to revisit all our policies that we need to clean out. Everything, including our everything, the ethical guidelines, everything. There's a lot of policies that we were told to, just so that they fit with our vision and mission, and kind of fine tune it. And there's some policies that relate to this that we probably are cleaning out our book, so maybe we can put that as one of the workshop. Dr. G.
Dr. Mr. Chair.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Just going to some of that, it's some of the LSG training, looking at how I don't know if we want to look at an audit, but making sure that we sort of hand over some of the regulations so that way that's some of our administrators work.
Yeah, and that's true. During our LSG training, that they did bring that up about certain of those things that, we probably need to clean up in our policies that we've had for the longest of time. So I think it's a good time to do that, and maybe Dr. G can take a look at doing that in terms of how, because that's going to take quite some time to do, and maybe to synthesize. Okay. All right. All right. That takes us to the next agenda item. F.
Yes, sir. Trustee ethical guidelines. Dr. Valadez.
It's ethical guideline under honor and conduct. honor and conduct. And it is number 4. I will base my decisions on fact rather than supposition, opinion, or public favor. And honor and conduct. I will base my decisions on fact rather than supposition, opinion, or public favor.
Yeah, this is a toughie, huh, guys? But really it lends to the objectiveness of how we set and do that. We need to be objective about things, and obviously objectivity really plays into making sure that you have that your decisions are based on facts. In fact, that's why it's important that our staff bring us, our administration brings us the facts to us. We technically are not, obviously, should be doing that. They bring us the facts so we can make the decisions. And it's difficult because, you know, we as elected board members we're responsible to the community, they elected us. But even though the community elects us, our first and foremost duty is to the students. So, you know, sometimes it's difficult because, you know, sometimes that doesn't necessarily, you know, completely coincide. It never actually coincides altogether. We know that. It's difficult to get 100% of the people, even 60, 70% of the people on board with certain things. So it's a difficult job, but, you know, we signed up for it. And so that's what we have to do. Anybody wants to?
Hi, Bill.
Ms. Kraft? Oh, Ms. Earls. Sorry. You look alike.
So, the controversy. You know, I see this as, I'm looking at our book.
Yes.
This is the fact. Really, administration does a wonderful job in supplying us with facts. And we take those facts, as I'm sure everyone in the whole world does, and then you disseminate them and come up with what you feel is best. And each of us, I'm sure that's why there's 7 of us sitting here, that each of us will take those facts and, Mr. Coronado, you're a lawyer, you know, facts can be seen through different eyes. And then we all come together, see the facts, discuss them, and I think that helps us come to an intelligent decision.
That is true.
So thank you. And I thank the administration for giving us these facts. They're very good about supplying.
They are very good about that. Anybody else? Mr. Sal from Benton, Texas.
Hey.
Gentleman from Benton.
One of the comments I say, a lot of times the public hears, I'll just say rumors. But as a group here, we get information directly from our administrators. Financial people are experts at what they do. Our counseling personnel are experts at what they do. And we have to trust what they tell us. We have to understand that what they're giving us, and their responsibility is to give us the facts. Not what they think we need to hear or want to hear. Well, we need to hear the facts. Not what they think we want to hear. And that's what we have to base our decisions as a group. We'll have different opinions, but we have to make those decisions based on the facts that the administrators give us. And I want to tell everyone here, I trust the administration in everything that they give us. I don't have any reason to doubt that anything they give us is anything that are facts. And I want to thank them.
Well said. And, you know, along those lines, I think, you know, in terms of, you know, saying that it's supposed to base things on factual decisions with respect to our financial accountability, we got, what did we get, Ms. Karski, this year?
Well, we got the GFOA and the ASBO, the Awards for Excellence.
I was looking for that 100.
The first report, the
Yes,
first rate. was
yes, 100.
100, yay.
So, you know,
Mr. Chair,
yes.
definitely, and I would like to echo those hands and clap hands too. And definitely our decision, my decision is based in facts. Facts that we have here in the school district, facts that we have from our administration. And sometimes, I mean, we echo whatever they tell us, right?
Right.
And of course, the public sometimes does not agree for whatever reason, and is respectful those opinions as well. But my opinion, of course, gonna be from the decision that I take from administration, from the school district that I work here volunteer. Definitely. It's impossible to be good everywhere, in every place, and please everyone. Let me tell you, to be here and taking decisions is not easy. It's not easy because we are in a position, unfortunately, that we could be attacked. Or sometimes if we don't do the things good, is the worst thing that we can do in our lives. People, they need to understand that we're doing this voluntarily. And we put so many hours of work to try to be here sitting in the board meeting, to read this and take decisions. Some of them are good. Some of them please the people. Some of them don't. But of course, the decision that I take ultimately is in order for me to go and sleep good, lay my head in my pillow, with the satisfaction that I did the best as I could. And not favor no one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Trout. You know, like I said, it is difficult, and, you know, we have to base our decisions on what's presented to us, but, you know, and sometimes the public, our community may have different views on what we think, but, you know, to the community's credit, sometimes they don't have all the facts that we have. So, not that they're wrong or that they're acting against the facts, it's just that sometimes they don't have the complete picture that sometimes we do have. Some of that, obviously, sometimes is public's not privy to some of those things. So, anyways, you know, it's a very, very important ethical guideline, and, you know, like I said, it's really tough. But I think this board tries to do the best it can with what we have presented. Anybody else? Okay, thank you, Dr. G. That takes us to the next agenda item. Sonia?
Yes, sir. Board honors, Mr. Rodriguez.
Ms. Rodriguez, welcome.
Hi, good evening, Board President Coronado, members of the board, Dr. Galaviz. Can you please join us in front of the dais for board honors? Your microphone is not working.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? There you go. Thank you.
All over.
Okay. Every year in the spring, each campus announces their teacher of the year. 4 secondary teachers and 6 elementary teachers move on to compete for district teacher of the year. After winning at that level, they go on to compete for region teacher of the year. Region 19 annually showcases district teachers who have emerged as champions in their profession and have impacted and inspired students to unforetold heights in all aspects of their life. This year, one of Canutillo ISD made it to the top 3. A proud Canutillo alumna, Ms. Lazos from BCE. When she started 3rd grade, she attended BCE, moved on to CMS, and graduated from CHS in 2011 as valedictorian. When she was graduating, the El Paso Times interviewed her and asked what her goal was. Her reply, "My goal is to come back to serve the community that shaped me into the person I am today." And she did just that. She taught 3rd grade for 4 years at BCE and most recently named the new instructional coach at Garcia Elementary, where she aspires to continue to serve her community in this new capacity. Her dream, as she shares with her students, is to one day become the principal of BCE. Congratulations, Ms. Sabina Lazos, for being awarded
You're from BCE? And we got our principal from BCE.
No, thank you for having me back.
Thank you, Dr.
So, she wants the chair, she wants to be a principal, kids, right? You're gonna be serving these kids. And so, part of being a principal, put you on the spot, you gotta do a speech.
Well, like it was mentioned, it was my dream to come back to Canutillo, and every day, I mean, it's not like I go to work, but every day I live my dream. And so I just love this community so much. Every single day is just a happy day. And, you know, now that I'm instructional coach at Garcia Elementary, I'm serving a campus in a different capacity. And so I'm able to reach more kids. Instead of reaching my 20 in my classroom, I'm reaching the 400, 500 on campus. And so, you know, I always make myself available to all teachers, all students, whatever they need, whether it's walk a student to the classroom, whether it's help on an online program or help with dismissal, with lunch, anything and everything. It's a team effort. And so if I can be that helpful person, you know, that's what makes me, you know, makes my heart grow, makes me happy to be part of Canutillo, because we're such a special community. And people don't really understand it until you're here. Where in Canutillo, things are different, but it's a good different. I mean, it's great, and so thank you so much.
What do you think, kids? What do you think? Yay, principal.
I know, I'm still learning, I'm still learning.
Un foto.
You wanna come up?
Pero quite, oiga, no, quite de Dallas Cowboys.
Why you're wearing green?
Right in the middle.
Yay! Yay! Oh, yeah.
Don't smile anyways, I can see it with your face.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Smile with your eyes. Very good.
Hey, come on.
Congratulations, Miss Sabina Lazos.
Thank you, Miss Charlie.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Tonight we recognize 3 members of the Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America organization, Canutillo High School chapter, for being named top competitors in the state of Texas at the Student Taking Action with Recognition event. The team advanced to compete at the 2021 Hybrid National Leadership Conference this summer where they were awarded a silver medal in their event category. Congratulations, Shauna Ahmad, Karime Melendez, and Misty Reyes.
Congratulations, so proud of you.
And to their co-advisors from FCCLA, Crystal Rodriguez and Ms. Melinda Castillo.
Mine was just long. I know.
Yes.
But thank you for doing that. Oh, yeah, and I'm almost done with the Spanish, okay? I'm just double checking. Okay. No, I'm not using the parts I know. Okay. The other parts maybe highlighted, I'll send it to you and I'll say.
And a note for FCCLA, when one wins an award, they all come in support.
Yeah. No, I didn't do anything. They did. They want you in the pictures. You're their perfect.
Are your parents here?
Michaela,
Come on, Michaela.
Michaela.
We're recruiting already for next year. Is Michaela?
Hold on, she's taking a picture. Go ahead, baby. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead. Ready? I need to do the note. That's all. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You're so cute. Hold on, wait just a second. Wait, gotta get it for the office. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, got it. Thank you.
Lastly, we welcome Alan Herrera, Region 1 Vice President of Service Learning and Projects, to briefly discuss the importance of family and consumer sciences education and the connection to the Family Career and Community Leaders of America organization.
Hello. Hello. President Coronado, board members, and Dr. Galavis. My name is Alan Herrera. I am the SCCLA Region 1 Vice President of Projects and Service Learning. SCCLA stands for Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. It is the only student organization in the United States with family as a central focus. It is a national career and technical student organization that complements the family and consumer sciences education courses at our school. Family and consumer sciences education is a field of study focused on the science and art of living and working well in our complex world. Through research, experiential education, and technology, family and consumer sciences helps people develop the essential knowledge and skills to lead better lives, be work and career ready, build strong families, and make meaningful contributions to our community. It helps students develop skills to be successful at home and work. SCCLA helps members also learn important life skills such as leadership, planning, goal setting, problem solving, decision making, and interpersonal communications. Members of Canutillo High School have been making a difference through participation in competitive events, community service opportunities, and all while developing student leadership and real-world skills. Canutillo SCCLA proudly boasts 5 consecutive appearances at the National Leadership Conference. I am the 4th consecutive Region 1 officer. We have sent 3 consecutive hospitality, tourism, and recreation teams and have placed first in the nation twice. Our success comes from hard work, dedication, and dreaming big. We always face the future with warm courage and high hope. Thank you.
Is it like that?
Families that you do the family
Oh, she's saying no. She says no. She don't want to
Take the pass.
Oh, Miss Clapsaddle too.
She's right here.
Miss Clapsaddle, please. Honor us in the picture.
Okay. Let me hold it for you.
Please, please, you have to come up with this, Miss Clapsaddle.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Very good.
Thank you, board. This concludes this month's board honors.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Congratulations to all our honorees. Okay, that takes us to the next agenda item. Sonia.
Yes, sir. Open forum. Any person wishing to address the board during the period reserved for public comments at a board meeting must sign up to be heard in accordance with district policy BED. Board President, we have 3 speakers.
Again, last time I was here, I'll start with the same way. I absolutely applaud your staff, in fact, your teachers. My kids love it in this district. They have a blast, they excel here. I've been in multiple school districts in my profession, so this one's been the best, so we salute them. And I'm glad you guys, when you talked about to open up this forum, Mr. Coronado, you talked about, maybe we should relook some of our policies and the way that we make decisions. All right, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. And stinks those kids left, but you guys are elected, all right, and you are placed in a leadership position, all right. That makes you a leader based on. You seem like you're agitated, all right, and maybe rightfully so, okay. But you can tell how that emotion started to cloud your logic, and you're almost scolding us, saying that you make decisions based on what the administrators give. All right, that's not what you're elected for. You're elected to make decisions based off of your brain and the facts that they give. So if something doesn't go right, it's not the administrator's fault. They're the ones that gave you the facts. And then we hear a lot of that where they just back away. And then, Ms. Trout,
Yes, sir.
if you're getting threatened, let me know what's threatening you. I'll take care of it. But nobody should ever get threatened. Okay? But again, it comes with the territory. All right? But not to that extent. That's just stupid. All right? But the world is full of dumb people sometimes. My capstone's coming up for my master's at the great University of UTEP, and it's leadership in crisis. And I decided to do it on decisions around the United States by leaders During COVID, was it based off of logic and data? Or was it based off of groupthink? Like, what is everybody else doing? All right, maybe we should just do that, call it a day. We'll get reelected. All right, did what everybody else did. All right, and I called on that last year to be like, hey, maybe take a look at it, see if there's other ways we can do things to make us more efficient. All right, because like you said, Mr. Cornell, you were spot on. What the community might want is not what might not be what's best for the kids. All right, and that's what a lot of my research went into. And El Paso got a failing grade in my paper. The county, the state, the city government, not you guys, but they shut down too early. Our transmission rate was not at pandemic level, so we looked like heroes. They shut down, and everybody was like, "Hey, all right," kept the hospitals empty. Well, we opened back up, and what happened? All right, we got smacked in the mouth by it. Now, my time authority?
Yes, sir.
Dang.
I'll give you 15 seconds.
Okay, 15 seconds. Childhood obesity is up 3% nationally, huge jump. All right, so when we send the kids home and we take away their diet, all right, we are making them targets for COVID. We're making them targets for viruses later on in life. All right, so you think about that when there's civic duty. All right, so we already made the mask mandate, whatever. Okay, but do not cancel sports. All right, poor kids need sports. Okay, because they're not getting exercise at home. Don't do that this year. Please, I beg you. All right, come to your decisions with the data the administration gives you, and then use your brains, because that's why you were elected. All right, think about the kids, please.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your comments. Next person. Sonia?
Yes, sir. Mr. John M. Joyner?
Mr. Joyner, welcome.
Good evening, board president, board members, those assembled. Where to start? Let's talk about facts for a second. Everybody seems to have an opinion that they think is fact. Facts are things that are irrefutable and can be reproduced. Fact, from 1977 to 1979, I ran the biomedical research lab at the University at Wynn Beaumont Army Medical Center. Fact, from 1979 to 1990, I ran the biomedical research lab for Texas Tech University. Fact, for the last 5 years, I've sat on the recombinant DNA board for the University of Texas at El Paso, and we review protocols all the time for research. Those are facts. Fact, COVID-19 has a 99.7% recovery rate for people with no medical intervention. 0.03% roughly mortality rate for people with underlying conditions. Yet we sit here with these masks on our face that do not filter the SARS-CoV-2 virus. I'm telling you, that's a fact. If you're not wearing an N95 or better, and you're not changing it regularly, you are wasting your time, and this is all eyewash. Okay? Those are facts. Fact. We are creating a hostile work environment in our school system by forcing our teachers to take a vaccine that is unproven, has horrendous side effects, and people should have the right and the dignity to say, I don't want this put into my body. And for you to make it a condition of employment to take this thing is almost murderous, guys. This virus, more than probably, was man-made. It was more than probably the result of research gain function. If they had left it alone and left it back where it was, we would not have 3 million people and counting daily worldwide. These people murdered these folks. This school board cannot force people to take a vaccine where there's no recourse against the manufacturer. If it kills you, you have no legal recourse. So what is their incentive to make this thing safe? Okay? You guys want to talk about facts? Get some facts. Get some real facts. If you doubt me, check me out. I'm telling you, this thing is worthless. Absolutely, positively worthless. And to make teachers wear it and to make them go home for 10 days because somebody in their classroom over there tested positive that they were not within 25 feet of is ridiculous. We've got to do better. We've got to do better for our kids. We've got to do better for our teachers. Okay? Bond issue. I spent 4 months of my life working on that bond issue. We came out with about an $80 million bond. You guys sat up here and approved $187.5 million because that's what you wanted from the beginning. I realize my time is up. The community is probably not gonna support that number. But, you know, that's up to you guys. I've had my say. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me, and please check your facts. Not all facts are good facts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. All right, next person.
Yes, sir. Jacqueline Martinez.
Martinez, welcome.
Good afternoon, distinguished Board of Trustees and Dr. Pedro Galaviz. My name is Jacqueline Martinez, and I just started my 12th year of teaching, and I am new to Guanajuato ISD. I am here today for 2 reasons. First, I want to personally thank all of you for making the common sense decision for the district to comply with all local and federal mandates in an effort to keep schools safe for students and school employees. Thank you for honoring your responsibilities to our community and enforcing safety protocols that will no doubt help mitigate the Delta variant, which is quickly spreading through our state and has resulted in a sharp increase in children becoming infected, hospitals running out of ICU beds, filling up to capacity, and shortage of medical staff to care for sick patients. Second, I want to urge you to ensure that schools keep a strong stance in the enforcement of mask requirements. Now is not the time to make a half-hearted effort in order to avoid confrontation with misinformed individuals. It is literally a matter of life and death. Do not forget that less than a year ago, in November of 2020, El Paso made international headlines because of the overwhelming increase in COVID deaths. Mobile morgues were needed to contain bodies. Medical care had to be rationed. Frontline workers continue to work through the trauma of what they are seeing day in and day out, and it is our responsibility to cooperate in order to keep our hospitals from collapsing. Keep in mind that the death rate of COVID is not the only factor to consider in our mitigation efforts. Long COVID has been reported to cause lingering, debilitating long-term symptoms. Survivors of COVID do not always make full recoveries, so it is important to be mindful of how long-term COVID has the potential to affect school employees as well as the students. We have an opportunity to prevent a surge from happening again, and it starts with leadership. Please continue to require masks and ensure that you are equipping principals and teachers with the support and tools needed to strongly enforce safety mitigation protocols. Lives are literally depending on your continued leadership as we navigate this new variant and the ones that will inevitably arrive soon. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Ms. Martinez. Sonia?
Yes, sir. Next agenda item is consider and approve a resolution providing for the defeasance and calling for redemption of certain currently outstanding debt obligations of the district, directing that authorized district officials effectuate the redemption of such obligations and other matters in connection therewith. I move the first.
But we're gonna have first. I move first go over the almost more. I move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Searles to approve the agenda item, but let's let Ms. McCarthy tell us a little bit.
I'll second it. Just so that
We have a motion and a second, all right.
Okay, well, this is something that we've been working on with the financial advisor. Anytime there is any additional funds left in the debt service fund, we use that to make an extra payment.
Right.
And so that's what this is. There's approximately $2 million in the debt service fund, and we want to make an extra payment on the bonds.
Perfect. That is excellent. We're paying our debt a lot earlier. I know we did that last year, right?
Yes, sir.
So, okay. Any further discussion from the board? All right, we have a motion and a second. Sonia, please call the board.
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado.
Yes?
Mr. Hernandez. Mrs. Mendoza.
Yes.
Mr. Payan.
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mrs. Searles.
Yes.
And Mrs. Trout. Motion passes.
All right. Thank you. Before, I'd like to pull the board, if the board is okay with taking up the consent agenda at this time. The board is okay with it, hearing no dissent.
And I move to
Sonia,
approve.
let's take up the consent agenda at this time.
And I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Sonia, please pull the board.
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado?
Yes?
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Payan?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mrs. Searles?
Yes.
And Mrs. Strut?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, back to the regular agenda.
Item number 5, public hearing. A public hearing will be held regarding the 2021-2022 property tax rate. The public is invited to attend and provide public comment. Ms. Foley?
All right. First.
I do have a question, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Kraft.
Mr. Carson, how are you? Ms. Foley, how are you tonight? I do have a question of the adopted budget by function. In function number 71, I see the amount of 419,406. And for 2021-2022, the debt service fund increased by 9,926,031, so gives a total of 10,345,440. Can you please help me to understand this a little bit more?
Yes.
Thank you. Page number 41 for the green package. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Under general fund, for the 419, this actually pays for our lease that we currently have related to the geothermal at the high school. And then the 9,926, this is to service our bonds. This is the principal and interest payment on our bonds.
Oh, this is the principal of payments for our bonds.
Correct.
Okay, so the bonds is from which year to what year?
These are our regular bonds that we have are issued over the last 20 years. So this is the debt payment for our bonds.
We have it from what year to which year, Mrs. Petrosky?
Okay, I believe the question you're asking me, I'm
Yeah.
looking at the audited financials from June of 2020. We don't yet have the ones from June 2021. Those are still being processed and won't be complete until November.
Okay.
So in November, we'll have updated information, but this is the information that's on our website currently
Okay.
from our 2020 audit, showing the ending balance of the bonds as 85,875,000. Okay, so the budget that you're looking for, the adopted budget, goes to pay these bonds. And these bonds have maturity dates from 2022 to 2036. So if you're asking if there's any 2006 bonds in here, those are paid. But the bonds, of course, we don't draw down the whole bond at one time. So the bond is in little pieces called tranches. And so it starts from, those balances that I just gave you are from 2010, coming forward to 2019.
Thank you. And the question that I made, because it's an important amount, and I think, the community should know about what we're doing, what decisions we're taking. So thank you very much for these explanations and helping to understand this. I think that's it, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Scott, before we entertain any more questions, let our administration present this item. Okay, go ahead.
So we are presenting to you our tax rate adoption theory.
Can you put the microphone up?
So our budget was adopted on June 22nd of 2021. And by rules of order, our budget needs to be adopted prior to our tax rate. Our estimated revenue, we adopted 63 million in general fund, 5.6 million in food service, and 9.9 million in debt service. We also presented the adopted budget by class object, broken down by the 5 major categories, which is salaries and benefits, contracted services, general supplies, other operating expenditures, debt service, and capital outlay. And those are outlined here by each of the different funds. Fund 199, which is your general fund, your food service, your 101, and your 599, which is your debt service. Included in the presentation is also the adopted budget, which is what is required to be adopted by the board by function. And each function is listed individually for each corresponding fund, general fund, food service, and debt service. We are also presenting to you your top 10 taxpayers for the Ganatillo School District. Your first, your highest taxpayer is the Tenet Hospitals. Second is El Paso Outlet Centers. ROP, Artcraft, is your third, and that's River Oaks Properties. Care Fusion, El Paso Electric, Walmart, Jordan Foster, Schneider Electric, El Paso Behavioral Hospital, and our joint venture are your top 10 taxpayers. The next slide presents your M&O compressed rate. Our maximum compressed rate is being set by TA. This current year, our tax rate was set at 0.8441. We have 8 golden pennies, and then we have our tier 3, which is our copper pennies, and we have 0.583 of those for a maximum compressed rate of 0.9824 in comparison to prior years, which was 1.0301. So on the next slide, we have your calculated tax rate. Our property, these are based on our certified levy. Your maintenance and operations tax rate that we're proposing for adoption is the 0.9824. And as well as your debt service, which will remain unchanged, which will be 0.36. The revenue was calculated at a 98% collection rate using these tax rates. Now the impact of the tax rate. The next slide shows the impact to your average homeowner. It does show that the property taxes levied will increase. However, it is not due to an increase in taxes, rather an increase in property values. The average increase that will be seen per your average home owner will be $117.20. The increase in values were an average of 9.29%. However, the increase in taxes levied was 5.54%. And with that, we're open to any questions or comments from the board and from the public.
All right, any questions from the board? Right now? Yeah, and then we'll take public comment.
No questions.
No questions. Ms. Rose?
I just have one. During this last legislative session, and we all know that that's been a problem, but it was spoken that the homestead exemption would go from 25 to 35,000. Is that still, or out the window?
I don't know where that stands.
I don't. No, I haven't seen it pass, but it was filed all the way up until like last week. It was still on the table. No.
As far as we know, we haven't seen any action on it.
That's fine. Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
I just have a comment.
Ms. Mendoza.
And just the top 10 taxpayers. My, we've come a long way. I mean, sitting here and being with this district for many years, my gosh, it's so good to see that. It really is. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Mendoza. Yeah, I want to see in one of those top 10, I want to see Papa Do's or the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah. Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the only comment I have is that our tax rate is coming down. Our taxes are going up, the average taxes are going up, and that's because of the increase in the property values. And you mentioned that it's 9.29%. So the Central Appraisal District is prohibited from going more than 10% on property values per year. They used to go wherever they wanted, but the law changed about 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, something like that. And now, it's kind of disheartening to see that they're real close to that 10%. So, I don't know. I just think that we need to, really, I know that you know, that we have these, that we have to pay our taxes, that's great. But it should be fair in terms of evaluation. And so I think, you know, we really need to take a look at that with respect to what the central pays the district. So, anyways, that's just comments. At this time, there's no other comments from the board. We will take public comment. Mr. Joyner, coming up and join us, please.
Again, thank you for the opportunity to speak, the president, boards, added members. I think your top 10 taxpayer list is a little off. The number one taxpayer in this community are homeowners, business people like me. I don't know what Jordan Foster pays in taxes, but I bet if you add it all up, it's not close to what every individual homeowner here pays in the aggregate. Most of your money comes from homeowners. So when you're weighing your decision, not what your top 10 taxpayers need, it's what the people who pay on their individual homes need. So that's just my comment on that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Joyner. Any more public comment? Okay, hearing none, and if there's no other comments or questions from the board, I will entertain a motion at this time. Next item, sorry. Sonia, next item.
Yes, sir. Item 5A, consider approval of resolution which officially levies a tax rate of 1.324.
Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry, 0.36 for the 2022 school year.
I move to approve.
Hold on.
All right.
Y'all need to let the administration present and read the resolution because there are specific items in the resolution that need to be read out, and also a specific vote that needs to be made.
Right, and there's also have to be, we have to actually approve it by function, so.
Yes.
So we, okay, administration?
And before you, you have a resolution. The resolution was modified to include item number 6 towards the bottom, and I will read that to you. Resolution to set the tax rate, recitals. The school district has adopted a fiscal year commencing July 1st and ending June 30th. The school district has received the certified taxable property value within the school district of the El Paso Central Appraisal District. The Board of Trustees has published the notice of public meeting to discuss the proposed budget and tax rate as required by section 44.04 of the Texas Education Code. The Board of Trustees has conducted a public meeting on the proposed tax rate on August 24th, 2021. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Ganadillo Independent School District as follows. The maintenance and operation tax rate per $100 valuation of property in the school district for the school year 21-22 shall be 0.9824. The interest and sinking rate per 100 of valuation property in the school district for the school year 21-22 shall be 0.36. The total tax rate for the 21-22 school year shall be $1.3424. This tax rate will raise more taxes for maintenance and operations than last year's tax rate. The tax rate will effectively be raised by 0.0153% and will raise taxes for maintenance and operations on a $100,000 home by approximately $15.30.
All right, thank you, Mr. Richard. Now, we'll.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, do the motion
Yes,
first.
Mr. Rodriguez, you.
I was gonna recite the resolution that since administration did it, now I just have to say so moved, right, council?
Yes, and we're going to need to have a record vote as each individual trustee vote out loud.
Correct.
So,
I someone since administration read the resolution, thank you for reading it. I don't have to read.
All right, I hear a second.
So I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second, and now we will poll the board on.
Okay.
I'm going to read this. Right.
Sorry about that, Board President, Coronado, members of the Board of Authorities. There are some changes in the way that the tax rates are adopted because the district's total tax rate exceeds the no new revenue tax rates calculation is mandated by TA and the state now. We need a specific motion to approve this resolution. You're going to need to move to approve the tax rate be increased by adopting the tax rate of $1.3424, which is effectively a 0.0153% increase, which will raise taxes for maintenance operations and $100,000 home for approximately $15.30. So that's the form of the motion that we need.
Okay. That's fine. All right. So because
That $15.30 is annually?
Yes.
Yes.
$100,000. Correct.
Increase on $100,000 home. The average home is probably higher than that, so even if it's 200, it would raise by $30 change on a $200,000 home. But I think the average probably more around 150 or 200, based on what the current market values are that they've increased. So we're talking about a change probably somewhere between $15 and $30 home. But based on a $100,000 home, that is what the resolution will be. So we have a motion from Mr. Rodriguez and second by Ms. Trout to approve the resolution read by our staff and our council. So do we need to approve separately? I think we need to.
You each need to vote individually out loud.
Right. We need to approve separately each of the maintenance and operations and the debt service.
Yes, the resolution was read separately. You can go ahead and let's take it in order, just to be safe. So you're going to approve the maintenance and operation tax rate, which will be 0.9824.
Okay, so on the item with respect to the maintenance and operations tax rate as presented, Sonia, please pull the board.
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado.
Amend the motion.
Made a motion.
So we have a motion pending on the floor?
Yes.
So let's just suspend that motion for now. Whoever made the motion, do you agree?
Yeah, I'll just amend it to what you just said.
Okay, that's fine. We can do it that way too. Let's vote on the maintenance and operation tax rate.
Are you okay with?
So I'll entertain a
I second
motion.
your motion.
I'm okay with the amended motion as legal counsel.
Well, it's not an amended motion, it's a new motion to approve,
No,
right?
he asked for a new motion or an amendment, and I'm amending it.
It doesn't matter what you call it.
Okay.
We are simply acting upon them, as Mr. Coronado wants to do, separately, and then we're gonna have the final motion that we need to approve the resolution by that second vote.
Right.
I think it's safer to take them over, that's a good idea.
Yeah, let's just do that separately first, and then at the end we'll do the one that, the resolution that, would be increased the tax. Okay, so
That's what I did, is to amend it to include the first part of it.
The maintenance and operation of it.
Okay. We're talking about amendments or new
Wait,
motion.
Yeah.
The original motion is gone.
Yeah.
Let's just have a new motion to approve the maintenance and operation tax rate, which will be 0.9824 for $100 of valuation of property.
Okay, is that your motion, Mr. Rodriguez? Is that your second? All right, Mr. Rodriguez.
I have a question for clarification. What we're saying here is that we are going to raise taxes above the effective tax rate. What it took last year to operate our school district, we're gonna take that up?
No, they're saying that we're not, that the valuations are what's raising the tax.
But
So it's
we
not, our
stay
tax
steady.
rate is actually gone down.
Okay.
However, we are generating more revenue because the values of the properties are increasing.
So.
Thank you very much for clarification.
Sorry.
Yes, can you repeat it? I couldn't understand.
Yes, so we actually lowered our tax rate. However, we are generating more revenue because the values of the properties have increased.
Thank you.
All right. So we have a motion and a second to adopt the maintenance and operations tax rate as presented in the motion. So Sonia, please pull the board on this item individually.
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado?
Yes?
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Payan?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mrs. Searles?
Yes.
And Mrs. Trout?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Right, and now we will entertain a motion to approve the,
The interest and sinking tax rate for $100 evaluation of property in the school district for the 2021-2022 school year will be 0.3600.
I move to approve the interest and sinking rate.
a second. Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Strout and a second from Mr. Payan, with respect to the approval of the
Interest and sinking rate.
interest and sinking fund for the district for this year. Sonia, please pull the board.
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado?
Yes.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Payan?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mrs. Searles?
Yes.
And Mrs. Trout?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
All right,
Okay, and finally, to approve the resolution for the total tax rate, we need a motion to approve the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of $1.3424, which is effectively a 0.0153% increase in the tax rate.
right. All right, we have a motion from Mr. Payan
Second.
and second to approve the resolution as read by our council, so I think it was Mendoza that seconded. All right, and so, Sonia, please pull the board.
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado?
Yes?
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Payan?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mrs. Searles?
Yes.
And Mrs. Trout?
Yep.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you, board, thank you, council, thank you, administration. Okay, that leads us to the next agenda item.
Yes, sir. Item number 6, Board of Trustee Business. 6A, discussion and possible action to approve board resolution concerning emergency paid leave for COVID-19 positive employees in conformance with the scope and limitations provided therein. Ms. Carrasco.
Good
Ms.
evening, Board
Carrasco,
President.
welcome.
Good evening, Board President, trustees, and Dr. Galavis. I have before you, bringing before you this evening a resolution to extend the leave for fully vaccinated employees upon contraction of COVID-19. We're asking for 5 paid leave days for these employees. And the resolution, as was sent to you, we're asking that this be applied for those vaccinated employees that contract COVID-19. We have, since school started, we have had some, and so we want to make sure that we continue taking care of our staff. And in order to qualify for this leave, based on this resolution, they need to have proof of fully being vaccinated or qualify for an exempt status, proof of any other medical documentation necessary, information made necessary for contract tracing purposes. Qualifying employees will not be permitted to work remotely, and employees not vaccinated will be required to use their state or local leave for any absence related to COVID-19 to include isolation or quarantine. So at this point, asking the board for your approval on this resolution that we have before you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Carrasco. Yes, Ms. Crown, you have a question?
Mr. Chair, yeah, Ms. Carrasco, this is something that is not established by law. It's something that the school district is offering.
That's correct.
Do I understand this, ma'am?
That's correct. It's an additional benefit that the district is offering our fully vaccinated employees.
So these ones are the ones that are fully vaccinated only? Okay.
That's correct. And if they're COVID positive.
Oh, it has to be.
Oh, they have to be COVID positive, yes.
Thank you. With that, I leave the motion.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board? We have a motion from Ms. Sprout to approve the resolution as presented by Ms. Carrasco.
I'll second it.
We have a second from Mr. Hernandez. Any further discussion from the board? Hearing none, Sonia?
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado?
Yes?
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Bayan?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mrs. Searles?
Yes.
And Mrs. Trout? Motion passes. Thank you, Board.
Thank you, Ms. Carrasco. All right, next agenda item, Sonia.
Yes, sir. 6B, discussion and possible action regarding the appointment of a delegate assembly representative and alternate.
Okay. This is, the delegate assembly, for CISD this year. So, I mean, I'm requesting that be appointed, but we do have an alternate. I may have a conflict, but, as well.
Who will be
there's a
attending?
time period, but
Who will be attending?
I will be attending.
And what about making Ms. Trout delegate and you an alternate?
that's, sounds perfect.
Great.
Are you agreeable?
Is anybody else attending?
Totally agree.
Okay,
I'll be in attendance, but I will be flying back that day. That's the delegatism.
that's perfect. So,
Okay.
Ms. Trout, you accept?
I do accept. Thank
Do I
you.
hear a motion?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion before the board to hear, was it seconded?
Second.
Second, okay. And that is to appoint Ms. Trout as the delegate assembly and myself as alternate. So any further comments or questions? Hearing none, Sonia, please call the roll.
Board President, I'm sorry, who was your first? I know Bayan was your second. Mr. Bayan, who was the first?
I believe it was Mendoza. Mendoza who
Thank
made
you.
the motion.
Mr. Coronado?
Yes.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Bayan?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mrs. Searles?
Yes.
And Mrs. Trout?
Thank you, yes.
Motion passes.
All right, next agenda item, Sonia.
Yes, sir. Item 6C, discussion and possible action regarding the nomination of a trustee to apply for the NASPA advocacy stipend nomination.
All right, and
I'll make a motion. I know, who will be attending that at the same time?
I will be attending, we didn't attend last year. NSBA,
And are you okay?
it was done virtually, but.
Are you okay with the application process?
Sure.
Okay. Then I'll make a motion to that.
And that's second. Oh. You take your second.
All right. So we have a motion before the board. Any discussions? Sorry?
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado?
Yes?
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Bayan?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mrs. Searles?
Yes.
And Mrs. Trout?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Next agenda item.
Yes, sir. Item 6D, discussion and possible action regarding appointment, reappointment of El Paso Central Appraisal District Board of Directors.
All right. We have a nomination from the board for Ms. Searles.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Coronado. I'd like to thank our four communities that have allowed me to serve for a very long time, 11.5 years now, as our Central Appraisal Board of Director representative. And I will not be doing that again. That won't be a position I will hold any longer. And so I move to appoint Mr. Sal Payan as the representative from Kennedy.
And I second.
All right, Mr. Payan, would you accept this nomination? Yes, sir. Good, all right. People made a great addition to that board. You will obviously have, I think, we and Anthony and Vincent share a nominee. So you'll have to seek their
Can I,
nomination.
Mr. Chair, on the motion, can we add a letter of support from the board asking that to the other governmental entities from
The other
board?
Sure, yeah, we can certainly send a letter to Ms. Trout. Ms.
So,
Searles.
we're really early doing this. The notice will not go out. My term doesn't end until November. The notice will not go out to all entities because it's countywide.
Right.
It won't go out until September. It won't come to their boards till October. We jumped the gun on this, it's very early. But that's when it won't be till October, when this should be taken up with the other boards. But they will be notified by the CAD in September. And just so, you know, so you kind of know what the timeline is. And I'm very happy to, you know, help make the bridge or be of any help I can.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Certainly.
All right, so you're amending the motion that we also present a letter of support to the other entities that nominate for that position. Rodriguez, we have here a second on that as well?
Second.
Can you amend your motion?
Yeah,
Okay.
second.
All right, we have, let's vote on the amendment to the motion. Sonia, pull the board on the amendment to the motion.
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado?
Yes?
Mr. Hernandez? Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Payan?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mrs. Searles?
Yes.
And Mrs. Trout?
Yes.
All right, now we will poll the board with respect to the actual motion to nominate Mr. Sampayan as our nominee for the Central Business District Board. Any further comments? Sonia, poll the board.
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado?
Yes?
Mr. Hernandez? Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Payan?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mrs. Searles?
Yes.
And Mrs. Trout?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, congratulations, Mr. Payan. And we wish you well with
Congratulations.
the other entities. We will prepare a letter against myself and administration. One of these will prepare a letter for both the district and the board supporting your nomination with the other.
Appreciate your support. Look forward to serving. Doing a good
I
job.
know you will do a great job there, Mr. Payan.
Thank you.
All right, next agenda item.
Yes, sir. Item 6C, updates from the International Boundary Water Commission. Ms. Trout?
All right, Ms. Brown.
Mr. Chair, I thought,
Yes, you did advise me that you had to leave the meeting early.
I think, yeah. See you all next month, I guess if not sooner.
Take care, be safe, Ms. Searles.
Happy Labor Day.
The time is 6:44 and Mrs. Searles is exiting.
All right, thank you, Sonia.
Happy Labor Day.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Trout, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you so much. I would like to share some updates from the International Boundary Water Commission. I want to let you know that I serve in the board of the United States International Boundary Water Commission. One of my duties is to report and announce to the community all the news that we have. And lately, we've not been meeting physically because of the COVID. We're doing this remotely, but I'm gladly here and I'm going to share with you the short information that I do have. I'm going to talk today about the storage reservoir of based on June 22, 2021 in the Rio Grande and Pecos River basins. The Elephant Butte Reservoir in 2020, we had 219,446 acre feet of water. In 2021, we only have 164,464 acre feet. So only we have 8%. We understand that it's been raining lately, but I don't think these reservoirs are being full enough. We have the Caballo Reservoir for 66,364 acre feet in 2020. In 2021, we have 21,211 acre feet. It's only 9% full, the capacity. The total Rio Grande project storage, we have 385,510 acre feet in 2020. In 2021, we have 185,675. The Rio Grande compact in credit water, we have in 2020, 811 acre feet. But in 2021, we have 1,111 acre feet, so it's a good news. San Juan Shama water, in another reservoir that we got, we only had 182 acre feet in 2020, very small one. But in 2021, we have 1,671 acre feet. Now, Pecos River has three basins, which is Avalon, 31% full, Brinkley, 44% full, and Sonner, 14% full. In the United States International Boundary Water Commission announces 2021-2022 bird hunting season. These areas along the Rio Grande are in southern New Mexico and West Texas. The United States section of the International Boundary and Water Commission has released information regarding migratory and game bird hunting areas on the United States of the areas and lands of the International Boundary Water Commission, along with the Rio Grande and El Paso, Austin County, Doña Ana, Sierra counties, in New Mexico for 2021-2022. The bird hunting season started with dove season on September 1st, 2021, informing that Isleta area and Zaragoza area will be closed again during 2021-2022, and the reason is because it's considered as a dangerous zone. And the last information that I would like to share with you is a convention that it was signed by our president in 1906. So every year we bring it up to the board and to the community so we should know how is the water levy in the Rio Grande is divided. So the convention between the United States and Mexico, equitable distribution of waters of the Rio Grande, it was signed by the President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt, and the President of Mexico, Jose de la Cruz Porfirio Diaz Mori. And this was signed in Washington on May 21st, 1906, and it was proclaimed in January 16, 1907. In Article 1 in this convention, which are 3 pages, important, whenever you get a chance, please I encourage you to read. They tell us how the water is divided between Mexico and the United States, how much we have here, and how many acres we got, and how much Mexico. And this one established how it should be allotted to Mexico as well. So in Article 1 says the United States shall deliver to Mexico a total of 60,000 acre feet of water annually in the bed of Rio Grande. I'm just going to read the allocation for your information, if you don't mind. This one is the allocation that is stated in this convention treaty in 1906 by the President of the United States. And the yearly schedule is as follows. In January, acre feet to Mexico, we don't deliver nothing. In February, we deliver 1,090 acre feet. In March, 5,460. On April, 12,000. On May, 12,000. In June, 12,000. In July, 8,111. In August, 4,370. In August, 4,370 acre feet. In September, 3,270. In October, 8,090 acre feet. And I said October, November, only 540. In December, we don't allot it nothing to Mexico. So this one yearly, make the math, is 60,000 acre feet per year. So this one we don't have to charge to Mexico because it's established in the treaty that it should be included because it's half owned in Mexico and half owned in the United States. With this is on my report.
Thank you, Ms. Kraft. And let's hope for a great snow in Colorado and northern New Mexico. For this
Can
season.
we approve a new boundary commissioner? Or they've nominated,
Yes,
right?
oh yes, President Biden nominated a new commissioner, Jeanette. She's the second Hispanic one. And thank you very much, President, because they did a good job. So as well, the previous ones as well, they've been serving very good. But now we have a good one. And the second Hispanic one, the last name is Jeanette, and she was appointed by President Biden.
And I know for some time we did not have the head of the international one down there in Water Commission for quite some time under the previous administration. So I'm glad
Sure, definitely.
filled that position. Okay, any comments from the board? All right, thank you, Ms. Kraft. Next agenda item, Sonia.
Yes, sir. Updates from the 2021 Delegate Assembly, the advocacy agenda. Ms. Kraft?
Okay, we're going to talk about the Delegate Assembly for this 2021, which is going to take place in Dallas for this 25th of September. We have 34 resolutions recommended for adoption. We have 26 duplicated resolutions and 7 not recommended for adoption. I made a highlight only in 6 of them, if you allow me to read this, because I consider them are important. Dr. Galavis and Mr. Chair.
Okay.
TASC advocates for an extension of the adoption of allowed school boards to move their election dates to November elections. We're gonna have that one. Along with the rest of the 34, 35. TASC opposes any efforts to force school districts to sell or district property to charter schools. So we're gonna push for that too. We're gonna put pressure that we don't need to sell lands to charter schools. The next one is that TASC supports the responsibility for setting curriculum standards and reviewing the adoption of instructional materials should be remain in the state of Board of Education. The other one that I noticed and the more so important is TASC advocates for increased oversight by the State Board of Education over charter schools and applications, financial accountability, and academic accountability. That one we're gonna debate a lot too as well. Another resolution that I thought it was important too is TASC advocates for equitable education environment for Texas students and supports an exemplary education for values of diversity in race, culture, gender, learning ability, and socioeconomic background in an environment that is equitable for all students and free of stereotypical expectations and ensure both physically and mentally safe environment. That is a good one too. We have another one. TASC advocates for legislation to fund implementation for industry standard safety measures and protocols to include COVID-19, litigation, counseling services, and mental health programs for school districts to benefit all students. If you notice, mental health isn't in a lot of our resolutions here because we see that unfortunately mental health is been harder, in the kids, in the society too. But of course, we need to focus on our students. TASC advocates for adequate funding for support special education to include higher pay and specialized training for special education professionals, as well as education for board members, staff, students, and community members about the challenges facing students in special education. That is a very good one. So, like everyone knows, I'm a very big advocate for special education, and all of us as well. So this includes, it's gonna be a law that we need to be trained in this so we could understand our kids for special education as well. And the last one is TASC advocate for transferring and remote teaching the learning skills acquired during the pandemic to situations where students are at home due to the illness or injury and allow these remote learning situations be continued the same as if the student was attending in person. So, very important ones. We're going to have over there to vote for this, and thank you very much. I think it's on my report and these resolutions, like I said and mentioned before, we have 34 recommended for adoption, 26 that are duplicated. Them are duplicated from the previous session. Didn't pass in the previous one, but we put it again in this one. So that's why we voted for that, and 7 were not recommended for adoption. Okay. It's on my report in regards to that.
Thank you, Ms. Kraft. Although it was particularly one on that, but it was, I think it was important that I'm hoping that whoever attends, as the, I'll certainly try to attend at the end of September, that we put that forward. Okay.
I do have a question. Since you will be our delegate, there is going to be a concern in regards to making sure we it's the last one in regards to, I think, the governing principles, and it talks about equity and the eradication of systemic racism.
Oh, that one too? We haven't that one.
I just want to make sure that you as a delegate or somebody will support that.
Can you give me the number? Well, we're gonna see it. It's here. It's here. I saw it. And definitely, that is a very important one, and I'm gonna definitely support for that one too. I think a lot of board members and from a lot of districts, they're going to support that too, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna pass. But we'll see.
There was issues last year that had passed, and this year is going to be one. Cornerstone principle that so gonna be a hot topic.
It is gonna be a controversial, but
Yeah,
this,
on topic is the legislature is still under the special session.
yes, it is. Definitely, I'll put my notes in here, like I said, 34. I don't read them, but it's included, definitely.
Okay. All right, any instructions for the leaders? All right, that takes care of this agenda item. So, yeah.
Yes, sir. 6G, updates from the TASB Legislative Advisory Council. Mrs. Trout?
Okay, again, it's about bills that they've been passing to the Senate. I'm doing this because of the community, many of them are watching us to the YouTube channel, so they couldn't come here. I know it's a lot of reading, a lot of numbers, but we need to be transparent and let them know and inform, which is one of my duties as well. The following bills were passed by the 87 legislature and have been sent to and or signed by the governor. 4 bills sent to the governor within 10 days of final adjournment. The governor has until 20 days after the final adjournment to sign the bill, veto it, or allow it to become a law without a signature. If the governor neither vetoes or not signs the bill within the allotted time, the bill becomes a law. The 87th regular session of the Texas Legislature began on January 12, 2021, and will be adjourned on May 31st, 2021. A total of 6,927 House and Senate bills were filed during this session. 1,073 passed and 21 were vetoed by the governor. So actually the 87th legislature is in special session and approximately will end in September the 4th, the 5th, or the 3rd. It depends those 3 days. And I want to underline and pay special attention to these bills that focus on physical and mental health and intellectual disabilities. I'm saying this because some of the community members have been contacted me. They wanted to see if we, for real, are supporting intellectual disabilities and mental health. Definitely I'm qualified for that, and I'm certified for that, and I'm going to still fight for that. Thank you very much. So the H Bill 1252, H Bill 159, H Bill 785, House Bill 2256, House Bill 547 is UIL for educational programs, House Bill 572. House Bill C adopted by the Board of Trustees. House Bill 773 signed by the governor as an indicator of student activity. House Bill 1147 is the military readiness. House Bill 1252, a timeline for violation of state or federal special education laws and other public education matters. House Bill 1525, school finance. House Bill 1788. House Bill 1788 is security personnel liability for action taken by security personnel to maintain the safety of school campuses, including action relating to possession of use of firearms. These bills were sent to the governor, H Bill 2256, that requires the State Board of Educators certifications to establish a bilingual special education certificate. These Senate bills as well were sent to the governor in 1356, 1365, 1444, 1590, 1650, 1677, 1696, 1716, and Senate Bill 1888. The bills sent to the governor and as well is 2050, 2066, and Senate Bill 2081. This was approved by the governor. They were approved. Senate Bill 2050, Senate Bill 2066, and Senate Bill 2081. And signed by the governor, SCR 17, Senate Concurrent Resolution 17. Thank you very much, and that's my report.
Thank you, Ms. Trout. Any questions from the board? All right, Ms. Trout again, thank you. Next agenda item, Sonia.
Start the developing executive session. The time is 7:03.
Time is 7:03. The board will go into executive session of this item. Sonia, if you'll read the pertinent
Yes, sir.
sections.
Yes. Executive session to consult with attorney under 552.071 of the Texas Government Code 8A, interlocal agreement for the purchase of participation in intervention in Public Utility Commission of Texas, PUC, proceeding PUC docket number 52195, SOAH docket number 473-21-2606, application of El Paso Electric Company to change.
We're out of here. Well, there's 39 pages of student handbook that I have to rewrite. I should have done it before. Come on, I gotta get to that. Thank you. We're out of here. That wasn't as bad as I thought. I thought we were gonna be here till like 9. I didn't get one complaint. So what happened is, you don't even have to explain as long as it's approved. That's all I, okay, then you guys approved, you went through here, right now. Because I don't know, I do too many agendas and I can't remember things. I don't know. Thank you, that's all. Thank you, Sonia.
Thanks, guys.
I'm out of here.
Adios.
I know you gotta wait, but
Yes, yes.
I'm out of here. Is that okay?
Oh, going to 1906.
1906.
Yeah, because she just read the 1907. You gotta go.
To 1906. Yes, the river law.
2606, application of El Paso Electric Company to change rates.
Thank you, Board President Coronado, members of the Board of Utilities. Give you an update on the proposed intervention by the Rate 41 consortium group. That's a group of local government entities that still have Rate 41 classification within their zoning rates for El Paso Electric Service. It's a recommendation from the group and from us as Blue Council that the board authorize the intervention of that case, and I'm giving you the form of specific motion that I would like the board to entertain at this moment.
All right, thank you.
I made a motion, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Crowe?
I made a motion. I'm going to read my motion. Authorize the superintendent to enter into interlocal agreement with other El Paso County school districts and like entities to participate in Indiana Public Utility Commission of Texas PUC proceeding. PUC docket number 52195, SOAH docket number 473-21-2606. Application of El Paso Electric Company to change rates. Authorize the hiring of a special counsel at the law firm to Hutch Blackwell LLP to represent the district in the matter, and to commit an amount to pay legal fees, court, experts fees, and expenses in that matter, not to exceed the district corresponding portion proportionate to its kilowatt use. That's my motion. I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second on this agenda item. Any discussion from the board? Hearing none, Sonia, please poll the board.
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado.
Yes?
Mr. Hernandez.
I'll be abstaining from the vote.
Okay. Mrs. Mendoza.
Yes.
Mr. Payan.
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mrs. Rosas Aguirre and Mrs. Trout.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. That takes us to the next agenda.
Yes, sir. Item number 10, adjournment, 7:18.
All right, by unanimous consent of the board, we are adjourned. Thank you, board. Good meeting. Everybody, stay safe.